You know, I used to say, for those of you that are allergic to shit, we give the Jews, the Muslims pork, and when we go to the Jews can, I don't give a fuck, you eat whatever you fuck you. Now, we got in trouble because one guy was really allergic to peanuts a few years ago, for real, and he almost died. But other than that, you don't know what you eat. We'll give you diet something else instead of Diet Coke. You won't know. That's all bullshit. Gluten is all horse shit. It's a scam that I wish I thought of. It's like global fucking warming. Lactose sensitive my ass. Stick it up my ass, lactose sensitive. My fuck you. That's all bullshit. It's a marketing scam just like personal development. I only wish I had thought of it. I'm getting rich off the fucking meatheads. You don't know what you eat here. Fuck you. I hope one of you dies, metaphorically speaking, of course. Third world countries, and a couple of you are from third world countries or fourth world countries, have EU money, International Monetary Fund money, etc., set up for certain industries that are considered downtrodden. Remember I talked about Haiti yesterday. Everything's considered fucking downtrodden in Haiti. So there's money virtually for everything in Haiti. And there's other areas, you know, parts of South America. Next, he walked away from his business. His first real deal, he's selling it to his employees. For those of you who shouldn't turnkey the business, meaning walk away and close it down, your employees will be eternally grateful because most of your employees are never going to have a chance to own anything. And you can sell them, seller's financing, and you can probably get 50% more than the company's worth selling to your employees. And that's what he's doing. Next, see how he's standing up? You haven't asked me yet, but the most successful people in the program have standing desks with treadmills underneath. So they're walking all day long. 4 kilometers an hour seems to be the perfect speed. Okay, standing desks. He gets up in the middle of the night, same as I do. 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning to work for a couple hours, then goes back to sleep. Success leaves clues. Most of those guys have standing desks. The next thing he does is that, I don't like to use the fake it till you make it thing, but I mean, he's not broke, but I mean, because he's not living out of his existing business, it's very lucrative. I mean, that car he bought, and you guys seem to know what it was, but he's upgrading. When you talk to one of the guys tomorrow, you listen to one of the guys tomorrow, he already lived on the 54th floor, one of the big buildings in Manhattan. Now he's on the 79th floor, and the view from the 79th floor is a lot fucking different than the 54th floor, okay? He used to drive an expensive, the most expensive Porsche, which I don't know what that means, but then now he's got the most expensive something else. There's no plan B. They're pushing the edges in the envelope. Now, they don't frame it as spending 125% of what they're making, but they're spending more than they're making. There's no alternative. They either succeed or they go bankrupt. There's no plan B. And the most successful people, that's what they do. And that's what they're doing now. And he's not unusual, other than in South Africa, there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity, and the banks are giving, as long as they're solid businesses, they don't ask about him, personal guarantee. They're not asking about, every once in a while, one of you, not you, but one of the kids will write me that they want to see the financials of the board. Well, you didn't sell it right. If the bank is asking you for the financials for the board, you fucked up. You went in with your hat in your hand selling pencils. This kid is the mouthpiece of this group, and he's that weak, like a fucking cunt. We want to see the financials of the board. That's the only time they ask that. And you will never repair that relationship with that bank. So you might as well just walk out with the tail between your legs and jump in front of a bus. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Metaphorically. And you can't rearrange in the mind of a first impression, either with a potential board member, an accountant, a law firm, or a bank, or a seller. You only got one shot for first impression. Unlike in the movies where they all kiss and make up and forgive you, they don't. In the back of their mind, you're always a weak cunt. Another thing that's obvious, he's fully committed. I mean, he just is. And the guys that are fully committed get it done. Your comments, if any, about the kid. Yes, sir.
One step at a time?
Well, he did. He one step at a time. And there are more successful people that we could be showing, but I'm trying to do an average of what we got in this room compared to the people that you're talking to. Now, this guy was an uneducated guy who had built up a business over 18, 19 years. Been successful. He was already successful. And he's walking away from more success than is in this room. It's like you read a book by Jack Nicholson, Golf. You can read all the books you want, but you got to be the one that develops the swing. You got to be the one that develops the timing, develops the expertise of sinking 5-foot putts. It's you. It's all on you. Yeah.
It's in the mind first.
And that's why for a day and a half I've been pounding it, because I know what's important. Fix what's between your ears. It's like that email I read you this morning about the guy. You looked, I wish we had a camera going this way. You looked like deers in the motherfucking headlights. I'm not making this shit up. Somebody, one of you this year will try to kill himself. It's an absolute, guaranteed. The mind is willing, but the flesh is weak. You have an 8-pack and you can take pills and but you're all pussies. You just are. The guys that, the little nebbishes that have intestinal fortitude are the ones that get the job done. Like when I just told you none of you are gonna get standing desks. I've been saying this for 25 motherfucking years. I can count the standing desks I got on all my toes and fingers, less than 20. They're all big hitters. You're not going to do it. You know you're not going to do it. But I feel obligated to tell you. At the Hardcore, we had a Hall of Famer, Marcus Bauer, who fortunately or unfortunately attended the first seminar when we had instituted the formal mentor program in the summer of 2010. He's a standing desk. He told the guys at the Hardcore seminar, he says the first 6 or 8 months, it's hard. It's hard. You get sore in muscles you didn't know you had. But it keeps you focused. And with the guys that have the treadmill, because it burns up calories, some of you don't need to burn up calories, some of you do, but it keeps you focused. I've known about standing desks since the mid-70s, but now they're popular. You see infomercials about them, and now you can even get standing desks with treadmills underneath, attached. You'd lose 50 pounds in 3 months with a standing desk, easy. Not many of you got 50 pounds to lose, but I mean, he's got 50 pounds to lose. Yes, sir?
Started Q&A.
Immediately. I go through the attributes of the most successful people the last day, you know, the guys with standing desks, the guys that start immediately, actually, and the guys that start before they leave. You should know what industry and what segment of the industry you're going into before you leave here. In addition to the homework, you should be Google fucking during the break instead of sitting out here fucking with your thumbs up each other's ass, fucking talking about how great you are. You want to be having your fucking laptop, Google fucking healthcare, telco, cybersecurity. Instead of, you know, what are you smoking a joint out there? What the fuck are you doing? I come up to the back terrace out there, it's like you're in Monte Carlo, getting ready for the next race. I've been doing this a long time, guys. I know what fucking works and what doesn't. And why do a lot of the successful people, I finished reading the Australian guy, they come back because even when you're, like John, even when they're successful, default's a motherfucker. And it's not being successful, the fear you have, not you, I mean, the fear you have is staying successful because I was only a one-trick fuck. They were right about me. One trick fuck means you did one deal. I'm just a worthless piece of shit. I should have rolled down on the inside of my fat mama's thigh. Most of your mama's thighs were about this fat because they gained 70, 80 pounds when they had you. Should have rolled down there just like a piece of shit. You know, just like dogs have shit hanging from their ass. That's where most of you belong. Question?
I like how he's breeding his kids for success.
Oh, absolutely. When he left, before he left, I told him I used to bring my kids at the seminars. They were in this seminar when they were 10, 12, 13, 14 years old. I used to bring them to the seminars that I gave when I used to give seminars outside. When you bring a 7, 8-year-old kid to a seminar, I catch him asleep in the back. They can only take so much of dad. You know, I catch him in the back and, you know, kick him. And you just, wake up, go sit in the front. But when they sat in the front, they had to stay awake. So they didn't like sitting in the front. They wanted to sit in the back so they could curl up. And I told him that even though his one son is a little old, being 9, when you got a chance. You can program, just like we showed those things, the kid with a snake, or me with a lion, the kid jumping up on that thing, you know. You can do that, but unfortunately, hardly any of us are trained that way. Most of the parents, my parents included, about the 4th or 5th time that little girl fell off on her head from jumping up on the thing, the parents would have stopped it. You know, what if she falls over and she hits her big melon head? And of course that can happen. And there's sad stories about that happening so that nobody does it. And that's why the safety regulations now in the world are so, in the civilized world, are so onerous now. You can't do shit. You buy a chainsaw in Scotland, you gotta go to chainsaw school. You gotta have all kind of equipment. You gotta have them locked up in a certain place. You can't just have a fucking chainsaw lying on the garage floor. What the fuck? Chainsaw school? Your ass, chainsaw school. Fuck you, chainsaw school. And if the cooks and the chefs gotta do through all this training and they gotta put shit in this kind of bag, what the fuck? You know, I used to say, for those of you that are allergic to shit, we give the Jews, the Muslims pork, and when we go to the Jews can, I don't give a fuck, you eat whatever you, fuck you. Now, we got in trouble because one guy was really allergic to peanuts a few years ago, for real, and he almost died. But other than that, you don't know what you eat. We'll give you diet something else instead of Diet Coke. You won't know. That's all bullshit. Gluten is all horse shit. It's a scam that I wish I thought of. It's like global fucking warming. Lactose sensitive my ass. Stick it up my ass, lactose sensitive my fuck you. That's all bullshit. It's a marketing scam just like personal development. I only wish I had thought of it. You're getting rich off the fucking meatheads. You don't know what you eat here. Fuck you. I hope one of you died, metaphorically speaking, of course. I hope your eyes get puffed. Now, the guy with penis puffed up like this, I was a little concerned about that guy. I have to admit. And nothing bothers me, but I mean, a guy about this size wound up puffing up like a guy this size. So I believed he must be allergic to peanuts. So now we're careful about peanuts now. They had a study about 15 years ago in the UK, health and safety. You know how you have peanuts in a bar top, peanuts, you can get peanuts and shit? Over 80% of all the peanuts had urine in them because guys don't wash their hands when they come back to eat the peanuts. 80%. I mean, you gotta teach them how not to piss on your hands. That's easier than, that's easier. Okay, goodbye, YouTube.